Today we're going to talk about a book that doesn't teach you stock market formulas or promise a secret shortcut to becoming rich. Instead, it teaches one of the most important truths in finance. Money is more about behavior than intelligence. Morgan Housel explains that financial success has less to do with your IQ and more to do with how you behave around money. Many highly intelligent people lose fortunes, while ordinary people quietly become millionaires. The difference is not knowledge, it's mindset. Chapter 1. No one is crazy. The first lesson in the book is that when it comes to money, no one is completely crazy. Every financial decision people make is based on their personal experiences. Imagine someone who grew up during a financial crisis. Their family struggled to pay bills and save money. As an adult, they may become extremely cautious and save every dollar they can. Now imagine someone who grew up during a booming economy. They saw opportunities everywhere and learned that taking risks often paid off. They may become a confident investor and entrepreneur. Both people make very different financial decisions, but both decisions make sense from their own perspective. Before judging someone's financial choices, understand the experiences that shape them. Chapter 2. Luck and Risk. We often look at successful people and assume that success came purely from hard work. Morgan Housel argues that luck plays a larger role than most people realize. Take Bill Gates as an example. One reason he became successful is that he attended one of the few schools in the world that had access to a computer during the early days of computing. That was luck. Of course, he also worked incredibly hard, but luck created an opportunity that many others never had. The same principle applies to failure. Sometimes people fail not because they are careless or incompetent, but because they encounter risks and circumstances beyond their control. The lesson is simple. Never build your entire view of success or failure around one person's story. Chapter 3. Never Enough. This chapter focuses on greed. Throughout history, many wealthy people lost everything because they kept chasing more, even when they already had enough. Morgan Housel explains that there comes a point when taking additional risks no longer improves your life. If you already have financial security and freedom, risking it all just to gain more may not be a wise decision. One of the most powerful financial skills is knowing when to say, "I have enough." Without that ability, no amount of money will ever feel satisfying. Chapter 4. Confounding Compounding. People often underestimate the power of compounding. Warren Buffett is one of the richest investors in history. Many assume his wealth exists only because he is a brilliant investor. While his skill certainly matters, the biggest reason behind his fortune is time. He started investing very young and continued for decades. Compounding works because small gains accumulate and grow over long periods. The formula is simple. Small gains plus long time equals extraordinary wealth. The secret isn't speed, it's patience. Chapter 5. Getting Wealthy versus Staying Wealthy. Making money and keeping money are two completely different skills. Many people know how to earn wealth. Far fewer know how to preserve it. Building wealth often requires taking risks, being optimistic, and pursuing opportunities. Keeping wealth requires humility, caution, and discipline. You must always remember that the future is uncertain. That's why emergency funds, diversification, and patience are essential. Financial survival matters more than short-term gains. Chapter 6. Tails, You Win. One of the most important investing lessons is that a small number of events often create most of the results. Think about companies like Amazon, Apple, Google, or Microsoft. These few companies generated enormous returns for investors. Meanwhile, thousands of other companies failed. In investing, you do not need to be right every time. You only need a few big winners to dramatically change your financial future. Success often comes from a handful of exceptional outcomes. Chapter 7. Freedom is the highest dividend. Most people think money is about luxury cars, mansions, and expensive lifestyles. Morgan Housel disagrees. He argues that the greatest benefit of money is freedom. Freedom means choosing how you spend your time, choosing where you live, choosing who you work with, choosing what kind of life you want. Money gives you control over your decisions, and that freedom is far more valuable than any luxury item. Chapter 8. Man in the Car Paradox. People often buy expensive things because they believe those items will earn admiration from others. But reality works differently. When you see someone driving a luxury car, you rarely admire the owner. Instead, you imagine yourself driving the car. The attention is focused on the object, not the person. This means that buying expensive possessions to gain respect is usually a losing strategy. True respect comes from character, integrity, and behavior, not possessions. Chapter 9. Wealth is what you don't see. One of the most powerful ideas in the book is this: being rich and being wealthy are not the same thing. Rich people spend money. Wealthy people keep money. A luxury watch, designer clothing, or an expensive car may signal that someone spent money. But real wealth is what remains after spending. It exists in savings accounts, investments, businesses, and assets. The most powerful wealth is often invisible. Chapter 10. Save money. Saving money is not only for people with low incomes. Even high-income earners need strong saving habits. Savings create opportunities. Savings provide security. Savings reduce stress. Savings allow you to survive unexpected challenges. Your savings rate often matters more than your income level. The habit of saving is one of the strongest predictors of long-term financial success. Chapter 11. Reasonable is better than rational. Many people try to make the mathematically perfect financial decision. Morgan Housel argues that practicality is often more important than perfection. A strategy that is theoretically perfect, but impossible to stick with, is useless. A strategy that is simple, reasonable, and sustainable for decades is far more effective. The best financial plan is the one you can follow consistently. Final lessons from the book. If we summarize the entire book into 10 key principles, money is about behavior more than intelligence. Luck and risk influence every financial outcome. Knowing when you have enough is essential. Compounding needs time to work its magic. Building wealth and preserving wealth require different skills. Patience is one of the greatest investing advantages. Financial freedom is the ultimate purpose of money. Luxury does not automatically create respect. Real wealth is usually invisible. Consistency and discipline outperform brilliance over time. The core message of the book. Getting rich is not about how much money you earn. It is about how you behave with money, how disciplined you remain, and how patiently you allow time to work in your favor.